In the moonlit silence of a remote Irish village, a baby cries, but the mother's heart is filled with dread, not joy. This is not the tender scene of new motherhood one might expect. This mother, in her quiet despair, is grappling with an ancient fear that has haunted parents for centuries: the fear of changelings. Changelings are creatures of myth and folklore, believed to be fairy children left in place of human infants. The fairies, so the old tales go, would sneak into homes under the cover of darkness, steal away the human child and leave one of their own in its place. The changeling child, though it might resemble the stolen babe, was said to be wicked, ill-tempered, and insatiable in its demands. This Irish mother, like countless others before her, found herself caught in a terrifying predicament. Her sweet, cooing baby had seemingly transformed overnight. The child she held in her arms was no longer her own, replaced by a creature that cried incessantly, refused to be soothed, and stared at her with an eerie, knowing gaze. The concept of the changeling is deeply entrenched in folklore, its origins shrouded in the mists of time. Often these tales served as a way to explain the unexplainable, to give a name to the fear that lurks in the heart of every parent, the fear of losing one's child. Changeling stories were not confined to Ireland, however. From the frigid coasts of Scandinavia to the lush valleys of the Basque Country, tales of these fairy switcheroos echoed in the night, whispered in hushed tones by firelight. Each version was different, yet all shared a common thread: the chilling concept of a child taken and replaced by something otherworldly and malevolent. And so, born out of fear and the unexplained, the legend of the changeling took root, spreading across cultures and centuries. Today, these ancient tales still hold a chilling resonance, a testament to the enduring power of folklore and the primal fears that lie at the heart of humanity. But changelings were not the only dark creatures lurking in the fairy realm. Let's delve deeper into the shadows and explore other notorious figures of fairy lore. Among the most feared are the members of the Unseelie Court, the antithesis of the Seelie Court, home to the benevolent fairies. The Unseelie Court is a gathering of malevolent fairies, goblins, and other dark entities. They revel in chaos and mischief, often causing harm to humans for their amusement. Originating from Scottish folklore, these creatures are a stark reminder of the inherent duality of good and evil, even in the realm of fairies. Next, we encounter the Redcaps, a particularly menacing type of fairy, known for their crimson hats. These creatures are said to live in ruins of castles along the border between England and Scotland. The hats aren't just a fashion statement. They get their vibrant color from being soaked in human blood. Yes, you heard right. The Redcaps are murderous beings, killing travelers who dare to venture into their territories. They serve as cautionary figures, warning us of the consequences of trespassing into the unknown. Finally, we arrive at the Slua, perhaps the most terrifying of them all. Hailing from Irish folklore, the Slua are the spirits of the restless dead. They fly in groups like flocks of sinister birds and are known to steal souls. They are most active at night, especially on Samhain, when the veil between our world and theirs is thinnest. The Slach are a chilling reminder of the afterlife and the importance of respecting the dead. These tales served as warnings, reminding us of the unseen threats that lurked in the shadows and the price of crossing paths with these malevolent beings. As we journey further into the world of changelings and evil fairies, we continue to uncover the dark underbelly of these enchanting creatures and the fears they embody. As time marched on, the fear of changelings and evil fairies evolved, but it never truly disappeared. In the Middle Ages, the common folk lived in the grip of fear, terrorized by the thought of changelings replacing their children and evil fairies wreaking havoc. These creatures were the embodiment of every inexplicable misfortune, every unspoken fear. However, as centuries rolled by, society began to change, and so did our perception of these mythical beings. The Age of Enlightenment brought a shift in perspective. As the mysteries of the world became more explicable through science and reason, the fear of changelings and evil fairies began to wane. They were no longer seen as terrifying threats, but rather as relics of a bygone era, relegated to the pages of folklore and mythology. Yet it was literature and media that truly transformed these creatures. In the hands of gifted storytellers, changelings and evil fairies evolved from objects of dread to subjects of fascination. From the Brothers Grimm's dark fairy tales to Shakespeare's whimsical portrayal in A Midsummer Night's Dream, these beings were presented in a new light, sparking intrigue and curiosity more than fear. The advent of the silver screen further amplified this change. Through the lens of cinema, changelings and evil fairies were given a visual form, moving from the shadowy corners of our imagination into the tangible realm. They became multi-dimensional characters, sometimes villains, at times misunderstood beings, and occasionally even heroes in the world of modern literature and pop culture. They continue to captivate us. Whether it's the brooding fairy princes in young adult novels or the mischievous pixies in children's animation, these creatures have found a permanent home in our collective consciousness. While the fear may have lessened, our fascination with these shadowy figures of folklore remains, a testament to the power of these ancient tales. Their evolution from dreaded threats to captivating characters is a reflection of our own societal evolution, a journey from fear to understanding, from the unknown to the known. In today's world, changelings and evil fairies have found new life in popular culture. They've emerged from the shadowy corners of folklore and have taken center stage in our books, movies, and video games, their dark allure as captivating as ever. The changeling, a fairy child left in place of a human one, has become a symbol of fear and alienation, often used to explore themes of identity, belonging, and the uncanny. You'll find them in psychological thrillers where they embody our deepest fears of the unfamiliar, the other, that which is not quite right. Evil fairies, once the scourge of the old world, now find themselves reborn as complex, multifaceted characters in fantasy epics. They are no longer merely the mischief makers of yore, but creatures of immense power and cunning. Their motivations often as intricate and twisted as their beautiful, terrifying forms. These dark creatures, with their haunting beauty and cruel intentions, have not lost their power to frighten us. They play on our primal fears, our anxieties about the unknown and the unseen. But they've also become a source of fascination. We're drawn to their mystery, their otherness, their defiance of the natural order. They also serve as a window into our cultural psyche. Their portrayal reflects our evolving fears and desires, our shifting understanding of the world and our place in it. The changeling, the evil fairy, they are mirrors held up to our society, revealing our deepest hopes and darkest fears. In the end, whether they inspire fear or fascination, changelings and evil fairies continue to captivate us, reminding us of the enduring power of folklore and the mysteries that lie beyond the realm of the known. From ancient folklore to modern tales, changelings and evil fairies have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. Throughout the ages, these enigmatic creatures have woven their way into our stories, our dreams, and our nightmares. They've taken many forms, from malevolent spirits to bewitching sprites, each one revealing a different facet of our own fears and desires. In the early days, changelings were believed to be fairy children, left in place of human infants stolen away by the Fae. These tales served as cautionary reminders, urging parents to protect their offspring from unseen threats. They also offered an explanation for the unexplainable, attributing the strange behaviors of certain children to their supernatural origins. Evil fairies, on the other hand, were the embodiment of mischief and malice. They were the unseen forces that caused crops to wither, milk to sour, and mischief to spread. They were the whispers in the night, the rustling in the woods, the flicker in the corner of your eye. As time passed, the image of these beings evolved, reflecting the changing fears and uncertainties of each era. Today, they represent the unknown, the otherworldly, and the supernatural, often used as metaphors for our own internal struggles and anxieties. Yet their impact goes beyond the stories we tell. They've inspired countless works of art, literature, and film, shaping our cultural landscape in profound ways. They've become symbols, archetypes, and motifs used to explore themes of fear, the unknown, and the supernatural. Changelings and evil fairies are more than just characters in our tales. They're mirrors reflecting our deepest fears and our greatest hopes. They're reminders of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknown, the natural from the supernatural. As we gaze into the shadows, the tales of changelings and evil fairies echo in our minds, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding.